the last class, we have discussed linear block codes. We have discussed linear block codes and Hamming bound condition. Now let us continue further. As I said that in the next class I will discuss encoder for linear block codes and some more examples. Okay, so let us continue. Let us see the encoder of 7,4 Hamming code. You should remember the code vector. How is it represented? We have discussed it in detail already, that x is represented as m1 m2 mk message bits, followed by c1 c2 cq check bits, where q is n minus k, where n is total number of bits. This is what we have already discussed. We have also discussed what that how basically we will find the value of c1 c2 cq. We have discussed that c1, if you could remember the last numerical we have discussed, we have seen that c1 was m2 x or m3 in the last example. Similarly, c2 was xoring of m1 and m3 only, right? And similar is the condition was for c3, that it was xoring of m1 and m2 only. So how basically we find this? We find it with the help of the generator matrix, which was having a subset of parity matrix. So based on those values of parity matrix, we multiplied it with the message bits, and we find the values of c1 c2 c3 in terms of message bits, and hence we have written this code word in this manner, right? So if we want to draw the encoder for the same, right, so we know that all the check bits, whether it is c1 c2 or c3, all are just the multiplication, just xoring of some message bits. So accordingly, if I want to draw the encoder for a 7,4 Hamming code, that means here we have 4 message bits. So I have written here first that message register will have 4 values starting from here, m1, m2, m3 and m4, and we need 7 minus 4, that is 3 check bits. So we will represent another register, check bit register, which will store the value of c1, c2 and c3. And how will we find these values? Based on the parity bits, we will find out the expression of the same, and based on that expression, if you can see this present example, then we can say that here c1 is what? You can see that it is m1 coming here, it is m2 coming here, and it is m3 coming here. So for this case I can say that c1 is equal to m1 xor m2 xor, the third one is m3, m4 is not here. Similarly, you can see what is the expression for c2 and c3. For c2 you can easily see that it is m2 xor m4, right, and for c3 it is m1 coming from here, m3, m1 xor m3 xor m4. So this is how that how we are designing this encoder. So it is much simple. I hope this is clear to you, and so let us proceed further with the help of some example. Also there is one more point about, we have discussed G and we have said it as generator matrix, which is nothing but composed of two parts. Initial part was IK, identity matrix, and another part was parity matrix. Now if I take transpose of P, let us say I represented transpose of P, so I will write PT. So if I write a matrix such that initially I write transpose of matrix parity matrix PT, followed by identity matrix of, I will discuss, followed by identity matrix, then this matrix is known as parity check matrix, represented as H. Now what is this parity check matrix and what is its role will be clear when we will discuss. We have discussed encoder, when we will discuss decoder, then its role will be clear to you, that how are we decoding. Okay, so right now we will just keep in our mind that parity matrix is what? Simply PT followed by I. FPT is transpose of parity matrix, and parity matrix is here inside the generator matrix. Okay, so let us first do some numerical, keeping all these things in our mind to practice all the points which we have discussed till now. Okay, then after we will proceed further in the next class about decoder. So let us take one example. It is given that the parity check matrix we have just discussed, that is H. Parity check matrix of a particular 7 comma 4 linear block code. 7 comma 4, so it is n is equal to 7 and k is equal to 4. So r is equal to 7 minus 4, that is 3. And H is nothing but, we know that H is parity transpose. Parity transpose followed by identity matrix. Right? Now here you can see that identity matrix. Where is identity matrix? 1 0 0, 0 1 0 and 0 0 1. So it is your identity matrix. Right? So that means the remaining portion, this portion is your matrix which is representing transpose of parity matrix. So taking transpose of this matrix, you can find the value of parity matrix. And from that parity matrix, writing in order that I followed by parity matrix, we can write down the generator matrix. Right? I hope this point is clear to you. We will do this. Okay, so let us repeat the question first again, that the parity check matrix of a particular 7 comma 4 linear block code is given. Find the generator matrix. So how will we find? I have already explained you. So in this manner we will find the generator matrix. List all the code vectors. Again list all the code vectors. Now how many message bits are here? 4. So for 4 message bits, that means M0, M1, M2 and M3. We will have code vectors from 0, 0, 0, 0 up to 1, 1, 1, 1. So we will have total 16 code vectors here. In the last example we were having 8 code vectors, now we are having 16 code vectors. So we have to find C1, C2, C3 for all these 16 code vectors, right? As in the question that list all the code vectors, so we have to find the values of C1, C2, C3 for all the code vectors starting from 0, 0, 0, 0 to 1, 1, 1, 1. In this manner we will find all the code vectors starting from x1 up to x16, right, as we have discussed in the last class. So this is what we have to do. Then the next part is, what is the minimum distance between the code vector. I told you in the starting of the class that minimum distance d minimum, having distance d minimum. What is d minimum? How will we find it? We will find all the code vectors. We will find, definitely we will find. So when we will find all the code vectors, we will check the weight of each vector. That means number of ones in each vector. Right? We will find the weight of each and every code vector, and from that weight we will see, except this zero term, where is minimum weight, and that minimum weight will give us the value of d minimum. That means minimum distance. Now, how many errors can be detected? How many errors can be corrected? This is my simple point for you. We have already discussed one numerical related to this. When we will be able to find out this minimum distance d minimum, we know that d minimum, the relation between d minimum and s, and relation between d minimum and t. And from that relation, we will find the value of s. That means how many bits in error can be detected, and we will find out t. That means how many bits in error can be corrected. Okay. So let us proceed. First, with the first point, find the generator matrix. So, to find the generator matrix, just do the calculation as we have discussed, that H is represented as, let me show that, H is represented as Pt into I n minus k, as we discussed here. H is represented as Pt I n minus k, where Pt is transpose of parity matrix, and G is represented as Ik into P, right? So we will write this Pt matrix and we will take transpose of that, and hence we will write this matrix and Ik matrix, so we will be able to write the generator matrix. So First of all, take this term. Okay, so let us take this. H is equal to Pt into In minus k. So the Pt is this value and In minus k is this value we have already discussed. So Pt, we write it here, we write this value here, that Pt is 1110 1101 1011, right, of 3 cross 4 size. Now transpose of this matrix P is we can write simply that 1110 will be written here 1110. Okay, then 1101 will be written here 1101 and 10111 will be written here 1011 of size 4 cross 3. So this is simply the parity matrix we have obtained from parity transpose. Now how will we write G? G is Ik comma P. So we will write this P matrix as it is at last in generator matrix, right, here of 4 cross 3 size, and initial 4 cross 4 size is identity matrix, that means 1 0 0 0 0 1 0 1, sorry 0 1 0 0, it is 0, right, then 0 0 1 0 and 0 0 0 1. This is your identity matrix. So in this manner we will find this generator matrix. Now from this generator matrix we will find all the code vectors. By multiplying message bits with these parity bits we will find the value of C1, C2 and C3 for all the 16 cases of message bits having value from 0000 to 1111. So now let us proceed with the second point, that means list all the code vectors. So we know that C is equal to M into P as we have discussed in the last class also. So C0, C1, C2 is equal to M0, M1, M2, M3 message matrix multiplied with this parity matrix 111, 110, 101 and 011. So we will say that C0 is M0 multiplied with 1, M1 multiplied with 1. So M0 multiplied with 1 XOR M1 multiplied with 1. Now M2 multiplied with 1 and M3 multiplied with 0. So M2 multiplied with 1, but M3 we have neglected because M3 is 0. So C0 is nothing but M0 XOR M1 XOR M2, right? So this is the value of C0. Similarly, we can write the value for C1 and C2. So what will be the value of C1? Now we will multiply these terms with the second column. So M0 into 1, M1 into 1, M2 into 0 and M3 into 1. That is what we have written here, that C1 is equal to M0, M1, M3 XOR. Similarly, when we will multiply it with the third column, that means M0 here, M2 is 0, M3 and M4. So it is M0, M0, M1 is 0, then M2 and M3. So M2 and M3. So we say that M0 XOR M2 XOR M3. Right? So this is the general expression. Now we will write for each and every code vector. That means we will start from first vector, that is all are 0, message bits 0000. We will write code vector C1, C2, C3 for this. Then we will write for 0001. We will write code vectors for this. For example, if I write code vector for 0000, check bits whenever we will XOR all will be 0. There is nothing to solve in this case. We can directly write code vector x1 as it is. Now what about x2? We have 4 message bits 0, 0, 0 and 1. We have to multiply such that we will find C0, C1 and C2. For C0 we have M0 XOR M1 XOR M2, right? So it is M0, it XOR with M1, M0 XOR M1 XOR M2 and it is M2. So this is 0, this is 0, XORing will give us 0, and when 0 will be XORed with 1, it will give us value 1. So M0 is 1, sorry C0 is 1. Similarly, if we talk about C1, it is M0, M1, M3, right? M0, M1, M3. So what is M0? M0 is 0. What is M1? M1 is again 0, and M3, I I did a little mistake in the last, that I XOR M3 instead of M2 in the last. So it is actually here 1, and it is XORing M2, and M2 is again 0, so we will get C1 as 0 and C2 as 1. Okay, and if we will see the C3, for C3 third bit we will say M0, M2 and M3. So M0, M2 and M3, 0 0 1, so it will be 1, right? So let us see this. The first case 0 0 0 0, we have said that code vectors are 0, no doubt. The second case 0 0 0 1, we have find out that it is 0 1 and 1, so it is written here 0 1 and 1. Similarly, let us check this. Just check by yourself when it is 0 0 1 0 whether you are able to get it or not. Whether you are getting it, you can check it, then we can continue further. So I hope you have done this. Let us take any arbitrary value for C2, C1. Let us take, say I want to find out the value I want to check for C1. Then C1 is M0, M1, M3. So it is M0, it is M1 and it is M3. XORing these will give us the value of C1. So let us check. 0 0 0 will surely give us 0. So in this manner we will continue further. Check all the code vectors, right, for all the remaining terms, up to 1 1 1 1. Complete this table by yourself now. So I hope you can easily complete it. This is the complete table. You can see that all these 16 code vectors and all these code words for all the cases of these code vectors are written here, and hence the complete code vector M0, M1, M2, M3 followed by C0, C1, C2 is written here. You can check it by yourself now that whether you have done it correctly or not. Then what is the weight? We have already discussed that what is the Hamming weight? Number of non-zero elements. So initially it is 0. Here 1011, so weight is 3. Here 10101, so weight is 3. Here weight is 1111, so weight is 4. Here 111, weight is 3. In a similar manner, you can find it for all the cases, and you can check the minimum weight obtained for non-zero element is 3. Right? 3 3 it is many times. Minimum weight obtained is 3 and maximum weight is 4. So that means minimum Hamming distance D minimum. What is the value of D minimum then? We have said that D minimum is the minimum possible weight, which is 3, right? So we said that D minimum is minimum weight of any non-zero code vector. So D minimum is nothing but is equal to 3. Now how many number of errors can be detected and corrected? You can easily do it by yourself as we have already done it. Let us see the answer. The D minimum is 3 now, so D minimum is greater than S plus 1. So 3 minus 1 2, so S is less than equal to 2. Hence we can correct up to 2 errors. Sorry, we can detect up to 2 errors. And D minimum is greater than equal to 2t plus 1. So from this expression 3 greater than equal to 2t plus 1. So t is less than equal to 1. That means we can correct up to 1 bit of error only for this code. I hope this is simple. Only little bit calculations were required, but this is very much simple. So I hope you can do it comfortably now. I have given enough examples, right? So today we have discussed encoder for linear block codes with example, and next we will discuss decoder for linear block code with example. Okay, in the next class. Till then, thank you.